I think all of you listening understand perfectly well that we're going through pretty dark, grim times. And that's politically, socially, and of course, as we're talking about now, environmentally. We've got climate change and loss of biodiversity, and these two are intricately linked. And I've so often find climate change is being discussed with less emphasis on biodiversity. But we have to realize that a lot of what's gone wrong is our disrespect of Mother Nature. And we must all realize that we depend on Mother Nature for food, water, clothing, well, everything. But what we depend on is healthy ecosystems. So with all this and more, how do I have hope for the future? Well, for one thing, there's a growing awareness about all of this. And then there's four main reasons that I have other than that. First of all, the human intellect, the resilience of nature, the indomitable human spirit, and the energy and passion and action of young people. I see humanity now as at the beginning of a very long and very dark tunnel. And at the far end of that tunnel is a little star shining. That's hope. But it's no good sitting at the mouth of the tunnel and just hoping the star will come to us. Hope isn't about wishful thinking. It's about taking action. So we have to crawl under, climb over, work our way around all the obstacles that lie between us and that star. But unfortunately, so many people are working in silos. We need to collaborate. We need to work together. We need to bring people from different sectors together. And only in that way, I think, can we hope to move into a better future.
And I wondered how you think countries should walk the talk, particularly around some of the set pieces like COP15.
I know exactly what you mean. There's a lot of promises made at these big events, and they're certainly by countries, and they're certainly not always kept. If we go right back to the Paris Agreement, you know, countries did not live up to what they had promised with regard to emission reduction. And those that seem to have lived up to their target were mostly countries that offloaded their dirty industries to China and India, who won't take those anymore, thank goodness. So what we have to have is a tolerant government, and we have to have politicians who really care, and we have to have people electing them, the ordinary citizen, who will support politicians if something is proposed which will help the environment, but may cost a few pennies more. Humanity is not exempt from extinction. And the world is a right mess at the moment. And of course, modern industrialized warfare is having a terrible effect on the environment and on biodiversity. So it's a question of getting this information out there. And that's why I'm spending so much of my time growing this Roots and Shoots program, because young people are changing their parents. And if parents really think that all this is going to affect their children as they grow up, they're going to try and change their ways. Think a little bit about Indigenous voices, how so many Indigenous people made decisions based on how will this affect future generations, that we have to somehow change this mindset, which is pretty selfish. And we have to remember that every single one of us matters, every single one of us, and every single one of us makes some difference on the planet every day, and we get to choose what sort of difference we make.